So I want to talk about a alien invasion dream I had last night. So try to do this quick. Um, yeah. I went to sleep and I woke up like in the middle of the night, maybe 2, 3 a.m. Stayed up for a bit and then did a little meditation and went back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep, I guess around 3 or so, 3:30, something like that. I had a dream of an alien invasion. So the dream went real quick. The dream, as you can see, so I did a little sketch of the dream, what it looked like, and so what happened in the dream was I was in the bed with a woman. I'm not married. Don't have a girlfriend. But on this particular night, I was in the bed with the woman, and I guess we, you know, came back from a date. I don't know, maybe a girlfriend, future girlfriend, something like that, right? So we came back from a date. We were in the bed, right? We were like for the night, and I guess watching a movie, about to go to sleep, something like that, right? Just kind of chilling, relaxing, frolicking, whatever, right? And so in the dream, she got up and went into the bathroom or the kitchen to get a glass of water, something like that. And I was laying there, I guess, on the bed and near the window, and on my side of the bed, and I heard a bunch of noise. I heard some noise, like outside, and so it sounded like a bomb went off or something, a missile strike. And I said, in the dream, I said, "Oh shit, we must be getting attacked by Russia." And so I got up in a hurry and I ran to the window. And when I pulled back the curtain and looked, I drew what I saw. When I looked out over the city, I must have been up a little high, um, higher than where I live now. Not sure where I was. I'm sure it was in the United States though. And it was winter time. It was cold outside. It was either the fall or winter. And so um, when I looked out the window, I saw saw the houses and the city in the background. I was up. I had to be up a little high, and or on a hill, and so somewhere different than where I live now. And maybe I was on vacation. I don't know. But anyway, so when I looked over the landscape in the distance, I could see what I drew. What I saw. I saw these ships. It wasn't. I mean, it sounded like missile strikes. Some type of like war, whatever. And my friend, my girlfriend, she didn't hear it yet. You know what I mean? I don't know what she had. Water going. She was in the bathroom, but something was going on. And so I'm looking at this real quick, and as I look out the window, I saw these ships, and they were like a tubular shape, like I drew, like kind of like a octagonal tubular, like a gunmetal, like they were like a dark gray color, and um, they were long, kind of tube type, and on the end of them they had like a huge dish that looked like a satellite dish or something. I drew the little circle on the end the best I could. I'm not that good of an artist, so I kind of tried to do a sketch. And so the scene I saw these, and these ships were everywhere. I mean, these motherfuckers were all over the sky. I'm talking about as far as the eye can see, every couple of miles or whatever, there were there was a ship, and they were pointed up at this. They weren't. It wasn't flying saucers. I didn't see no shit like that. It was these long. They were like tubular. Mind you, of a almost like a you know what do you call it? Like I don't know, almost like a penis or something, right? Like they were long, and then I remember they were dark gray metal, and like I said, on each end, on the back end, it was like a satellite dish. So it reminds you of it was like a round dish on the back, and they were all pointed up toward the sky, like almost like they backed in, right? Like they dropped in that back end part, and then they were kind of like tilted at an angle, and they were pointed up toward like the moon or towards space, right? And I tried to kind of draw the angle, and they were all like that. And I mean, there like there had to be, as far as the eye can see, I could see ships spread out. Every few, I don't know if they were every couple of miles, whatever, right? Every few miles, I could see a ship, and then I started seeing in the distance explosions, like they were striking. I could see like projectiles or lasers or something, and mushroom clouds where this shit was striking. Boom! It was hitting the ground, and shit was blowing up. And I mean, this was at night, right? And so this shit was lighting up like a war zone, and I could see like mushroom clouds, and and I could see all kinds of projectiles. I don't know if all of a sudden maybe the army or the air force or people had engaged these people that fast. They had responded, or maybe they saw them as they were coming in, and they had responded. And so there was like all kinds of projectiles, lit up in the sky, like missiles and shit hitting the ground, and so it was like all hell was breaking loose. And then what I noticed then was also these troops coming out of the ships, and they were jumping out of the ships, and they were. I mean, I'm talking about as far as I can see, you could see them falling, not falling, but jumping out of the ships like paratroopers, but without a no parachute. So they must have had like jet packs or something like that, right? Some type of anti gravity or jet packs or something. I couldn't see jet packs. I'm just saying like I knew it wasn't parachutes. I could see these figures as far as the eye could see, like around the ships. They were just jumping out, and they were just coming down to the ground in an orderly fashion. No, no parachute. You know what I mean? You could imagine like if they had a parachute, right? But they didn't have a parachute, and it was just one after the other. I could see them. Like in the sky was littered with the ships and the, I guess, soldiers coming out of the ships, falling to not falling but jumping to the ground. I'm talking about had to be hundreds and hundreds of feet to the ground, if not thousands of feet to the ground. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell how far these ships were up in the air, but they were above the buildings. You know what I mean? So kind of like you could imagine a helicopter higher, like where up where a helicopter would be, higher than a helicopter. You know what I mean? Kind of just hovering, and these beings were jumping out of the ships without no parachute. I guess they had, like I said, some type of jet packs or something. So these were advanced. This shit was an alien invasion. This wasn't like Russians. At first, I was like, "What the fuck? We getting bombed by Russia or something?" I was like, "Yo, baby," and then I called my girl. I was like, "Yo, baby, come here. I don't know if I'm going crazy. You gotta look at this." So she came out of the bathroom or wherever she was. I said, "Do you see what I see?" And she said, "Oh my God!" So she screamed. She was like, "Oh shit! What the fuck is going on?" I said, "This is like a fucking alien invasion or something." I said, "Look, we gotta go." So I said, "Fuck this." I said, because I could see the troops hitting the ground. Like I could see them, coming down, and I knew what they were gonna do. I knew they were gonna come into the building. They were obviously they were gonna attack people, everything. So I said, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Turn out the lights. So I closed the curtains. We were undressed. I said, look, let's get dressed. We started getting dressed, and I knew. I said, put on your warm clothes because it's fucking cold out. It's gonna be chilly or cold outside. We gotta go somewhere and hide. We can't stay in these houses because they're gonna come in the house soon. You know what I mean? I could see all the troops landing, and I was like, my first thought was, they're gonna come. I said, turn out the lights in case they're in the neighborhood now. That way, they would go to the places where they would think nobody's in the building, and that give us more time to get dressed and collect some shit, and then we're gonna go out the back door. You know what I mean? And try to, we gotta go somewhere and hide and get the fuck out of here. So I was telling her, so she's putting her clothes on. I'm putting my clothes on. I'm putting on, I got. The reason I knew it was cold because I had um, like pajama pants or long john, thermal underwear on, and I put my pants and shit over top of my thermal underwear because I knew it was gonna be cold or chilly outside, and I started, getting dressed and shit, and then I woke up, right, and then I woke up, and so the thing with this dream was I had another dream like this before. In the dream, my grandmother was sick, and it was the same kind of. She was sick, and there was. I went to the hospital to see her, and then all of a sudden there was. There were. strikes going on. Like I heard noise, like missile strike. I said, "Oh shit, the Russians," but it wasn't the Russians. It was alien invasion, just like this dream. Now, what that tells me was, what this, what I would, I don't know, I'm not tell me, but what I think, or could ascertain from this is that, in the other dream I had, was that one, if this is a precognitive dream, right? Because it may not be, who knows? But if it's a precognitive dream, then there's some interesting points. Number one, the fact that I said Russia in the dream, right? That would make we're basically there's World War III with Russia right now. Now, obviously, it must have been the same scenario when the aliens invaded. That could only mean one or two. That could only mean a couple of things. That let's say this was a precognitive dream. That means that it would have to happen this fall or winter, or by next fall or winter, right? Because Russia is winning the conflict right now, and they'll win. They'll have a solid military victory, right, and full control and destruction and demilitarization of the Ukrainian army within probably the next couple of months, right? So I had to, so it, that conflict must have still been going on, right? For me to think something like that, to think that they would attack the U.S., who has been funneling weapons into the Ukrainians. Now, if it wasn't going on and it was over with, and everybody, everything had calmed down or whatever, it wouldn't be a reason for me to think that they were going to attack the United States. So it had to be an ongoing conflict with the U.S. involved, funneling weapons to Russia at the time that this happened. That's the only reason I would have thought that Russia was attacking the United States, right? So that would lead me to believe that if this was going to happen, it would be within the next 12 months. It would be within the next um, 4 to 12 months, right? Because it would have to be this winter because it was cold in the dream, or um, next winter, next fall, right, or winter. So I'm just saying, I'm just speculating, right? Because it could be nothing, nothing at all. And so that was kind of what I got from that. It that if this was like a precog dream, then I would see an alien invasion this winter, this fall or winter, or next fall or winter, right? Which was good because what's the use of having a precognitive dream if you don't have enough information to ascertain a timeline so that you know what to look for, right? Like you hear people all the time say, "I had a dream," and it's very vague. There's no detailed information. There's no way you could get any feedback on, or get any idea of how you could use that particular information, right? Just like in remote viewing, you need feedback to be able to use the information. So a precognitive dream, like people say, I had a confirmation from God. You didn't have anything. There's nothing useful in that dream that you could create a timeline or anything that you could use for a warning or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I said, so I don't want to make this too long, but there was some, like I said, some key points that I saw. Like this is a reoccurring dream for me, pretty much. This is the second dream I've had where I thought I confused attack by Russia with uh, it turned out to be an alien invasion. So I think if something happens in the United States, I think an alien invasion would happen before a Russian attack. Would have had to happen before a Russian attack, right? Because if not, I wouldn't have said that. If Russia had already been attacked in the United States, I wouldn't have said that, right? So I guess they're gonna beat the aliens. If this dream is true, is gonna beat Russia to the punch. They're gonna destroy the United States and large parts of the world before World War III does, right? So, which is interesting, right? I mean, I'm just speculating, right? Because it could be nothing, but it's just kind of deriving certain things from the what I derived from the dream, what I could kind of useful information, right? What kind of useful information could I derive based on current events and speculate upon, right? So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this. This is my dream, my alien invasion dream. So that's all I got on that.